we live in the circle of our astrological chart. And if you've ever seen an astrological chart or ever seen your own astrological chart, it's a circle. In India, sometimes it's a square, but it doesn't matter. It's a square or a circle. It's a design. That is the symbol of wholeness. And it's divided into sections. And the planets are placed in those various sections. And so you can see this and realize, one thing you can realize is not all the sections have planets in them. One, two, some have a lot. Some of the sections have a lot of planets in them. And like on a clock, 3 o'clock is always opposite of what? 9 o'clock. 12 is always opposite of 6. There's like a relationship of there's a relationship between these numbers, and there's what kind of a geometric or angular relationship between them.
You just said angular again.
I know.
I just love it. I love it when you're saying that, actually. I really do. I really do. I had to say that. I'm sorry. That's why it grabbed my attention. So
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
that little joy.
You're very welcome. And every angular relationship has a quality. Then the 180-degree relationship has a quality of it's just like you would say, we're staring each other down, That's one way. It could also be, I saw them across the room, and my heart went flitter flatter, and we went towards each other. There's a sort of a quality of seeing directly, like a full moon. When the sun and the moon are 180 degrees away, you see the whole moon. But at the quarter moon, you only see a half of it because it's at 1/4 of the cycle. And that has a different relationship. Some of it's illuminated, some of it's in shadow. That's a different kind of quality. It's like somebody you know. And I go, well, I think I know them, but there's like this hidden part that I can feel it's there and it's not being shown somehow. Yeah. It's not about other people. It's about our own parts. It's about our own psyche. And all the parts have relationships with each other. That's the angular world that we are experiencing through our own nervous system, symbolized by our astrological chart. When we breathe in our practice of drawing the energies inward to the spine, drawing in and in, what we are doing is we are pulling the prana and our emotional commitments to the story of that's symbolized by those astrological energies, and we're drawing them in to the linear relationship that they have in the beginning before they got expressed as my life story. I remember one time it was like a realization. It's like, so in my chart, I have moon squared Saturn. So my mother symbol, the moon, and the sort of the authority symbol, Saturn, which is, they're in a tension, they're in a square. And one thing that can produce in a person's personal history is a challenging relationship with their mother. It could also just say all females are problems for this, incarnation. They're all trying to control me somehow. That's a nervous system entanglement. But really, one day, it was decades ago, it's like, but I have moon squared Saturn. Only from the point of view of New York City on September 3rd. At that time, that's when it looked like, from that perspective, it looks like the moon was squared Saturn. Just go a little bit out into space. There's not that relationship at all. It depends where we sit. It depends where we take our seat. And one of the things that we're learning to do through our practice of moving the energy, the center of our attention up and down the spine, is we're learning to take our seat from a different perspective. And when we take our seat from a different perspective, we can still see, I can still see young Eric and his childlike, in his child years and his struggles. I can see it now and I can relate to it, feel it, and say, and bring it in to the linear relationship.